SMT Nation. It's the podcast. We got the August 23rd edition. Thanks for coming by, everyone. Glad you could be here. I already see some familiar and friendly faces there in the live chat. I want to say hello to everybody. I'll try to get to as many of you individually as possible. But let's go ahead and do some shout outs. All right, let's first shout out the SMT patrons. Thanks for supporting us there on the Patreon side. For those of you that are looking for additional extra access to the channel content, you get your weekly exclusive videos, your exclusive live streams, early access to content. It's all there. So if you want to support us and also do those things, it's a nice way to get involved with the community. Also, I want to do a couple of shout outs to those people in the chat. So we got David, we got Zero Cool, Kazi, Caesar, RF Waves. That's a lot of mod squad up in there. So appreciate you guys for coming through. We got Bor Granta in the house. Archie Mobile is here. Joshua is here as well. Thanks for coming through tonight. Jason D is here. Troy is in the house. TJ is here as well. Giuseppe Jimmy is here. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Caesar, not much is up, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming by tonight. RF Waves as well. Just jumped on me, man. Okay. We got Kazi. We got Brad. And we got MS, the homie. We got Big Term. Who else we got? Clever 4. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's see. Who else we got here? We got Mo. What up, Mo? We got Black Scorpion here. Lawrence, good to see you, man. Long time. And yeah, appreciate that. Thanks for everybody for coming through. Yeah, absolutely. The Patreon support is massive. Angus, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming by as well. With today's podcast, I want to take a look at a couple of things that happened today. I just posted the first story in the live chat. I'll try to remember to put it in the show notes after the show. But this one is actually about Boost. And we know that they're going to be launching Boost Infinite. And we know that's going to be like their postpaid retail. I don't know anything about stores, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, if they're going to be using like Boost as, selling both services, the prepaid and the postpaid. I've heard that before. I don't know what they're doing in terms of like, dedicated locations, retail locations for postpaid. I know very little. I don't have much of a bird's eye view into the inner workings of what Boost Infinite is going to be designed to do and how they're going to execute it. But I'm following things closely from the outside looking in. It kind of looks like they're going to be moving really slowly. We get little bits and pieces of information. When we do, I do the video updates to kind of let you guys know what's going on. I know a lot of you want to try the service, but you're kind of really not able to, right? The problem is they're trying to build a 5G network in a very limited budget, and it's not easy building a network, period. And then you think about like all the money it takes to build on top of the just the difficulty. You got to put in permits, you got to place all these orders, you got to do installation, you got to engineer. That this is stuff that like T-Mobile, Verizon, and At&t have been doing for the better part of the last 20 plus years. And to have a carrier just jump in, no easy task. So you're limited on which cities actually have a network build and stuff like that. So you're probably just kind of waiting. Everybody would like a legitimate fourth carrier. Dish would do wonders to replace Sprint. We kind of lost them. It made a much stronger T-Mobile, which is good for the market. But we would prefer 4 legitimate carriers. That would be awesome. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and jump in. Let me do the share screen. Let's cover the story. And then I'll be looking to find some of the interesting commentary for what you guys think. Because I don't know if this may concern some of you out there. I know for me, it's concerning. I don't like to see companies moving in this direction, but it could be a sign of things to come. All right, so the title, this is over from lightreading.com. You guys know Mike Dano. Dish's Boost reshuffles field team ahead of Infinite launch. Okay, so the way this is, I guess, titled makes it seem like Dish consolidated the Boost Mobile side in order to like be more flexible, be able to finance the Infinite launch. It feels like they're taking from Peter to pay Paul a little bit. I mean, that's just what the terminology looks like. And I don't know if Mike Dano intended that. I don't know if that was done on purpose, but it sure seems like that's what he's kind of insinuating, right? Reshuffle field team ahead of Infinite launch. Maybe it's just like timing, it just seems that way. Maybe this is, maybe I'm off base here, but it's probably not going to be easy for them to do. You know what I mean? All right, let's read on a little bit here. It says Dish Network's Boost mobile operation recently overhauled its nationwide retail sales force as it prepares to launch its Boost Infinite brand this fall. A source familiar with the company's operations confirmed Dish laid off an unspecified number of Boost employees in regions that are no longer a focus for the company. Okay, guys, so here's my concern. My concern is that by them consolidating, they're walking away from certain regions where they don't have a lot of business and it's not economically feasible for them to operate there. The problem is they may be abandoning certain places of the country where, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, when they created the concessions, when they got Dish involved with the merger with T-Mobile and Sprint, this is kind of going in the wrong direction. Dish, Boost Mobile, they were all supposed to be competitors as they entered the marketplace. And this is something that is moving in the opposite direction. I am going to tell you guys right now, as someone who has been a complete optimist and has been trying to support Dish and like really push a positive spin onto their entry into mobile networks, I'm not happy about this. People are going to lose their jobs, obviously. The network is going to have trouble getting built. Consolidation, reduction, elimination. They're shrinking the payroll. That's all they see, but they're changing people's lives, right? And we've already seen this with the T-Mobile side. We've seen it with Sprint. All these things do happen, and it's horrible. But this company hasn't even really taken off yet, folks. Okay, so I've been the optimist, and I have been positive, and I've really pushed for people to support Dish. But when things like this are happening, I'm really losing my patience. I'm not really in the business of supporting a company that is going to downsize at a time where it needs to be upscaling. Like Dish should be expanding. The company should be growing. They should be looking to make a legitimate splash in the industry. This is not an indication of that. This looks like to me they're having trouble with funding. They're having trouble generating capital, and they've bit off more than they can chew. Everybody knows that Charlie Ergen is as clever and witty and smart as they come. But I can tell you right now, you are going to find very few people more positive about Dish as I was, and now I'm really starting to lose that. It's hard to stand behind this type of a situation. They're going to shrink their retail footprint. They're going to let's just start here, right? Dish loses customers. They are not growing, right? When you look at Boost Mobile has probably lost over 1.5 million customers since Dish took over. They've only had the company for like just under 2 years. Didn't they take it over in like August or something of like 2020, right? It was like right in the heart of the pandemic or whatever. And they've done nothing but hemorrhage customers. They completely changed their unlimited plans. In order to become more profitable, they had to change the rate plans to like 35 gigs, and then they slow you down to like 2G speeds after that. That turned off a lot of customers. Their customer base is now officially under 8 million. They were purchased like 9.5 million or something like that. So they've done nothing but hemorrhage customers. So where did those customers go? Those customers went to Cricket. Those customers went to Metro. They got more competitive rate plans. They got better pricing, a more unlimited experience. I'm sure some of those customers found themselves unvisible, and some customers probably went to like prepaid proper. Some of them probably to AT&T prepaid. Some of them maybe to like, T-Mobile prepaid or something. I don't know. Maybe they found some luck over at TracFone, Straight Talk, and Total Wireless, and all these other options. But Boost has done nothing to retain their customers. They have not been competitive. It's a little bit better today than it was previously. The $25 plan is pretty attractive. You get 30 gigs of data, and unlimited talk and text and all that. It's pretty competitive and people like it. They're on the AT&T network now, no longer only on the T-Mobile network, right? So that gives you options there. But this just doesn't look, sound, or smell good. I don't like this. I don't like the direction they're going. They're minimizing, they're reducing, and they're taking from Peter to pay Paul, is what it seems like. I don't like what I'm seeing. And a lot of the dealers, the owners of the stores, the operators of the Boost Mobiles are down on management. They don't feel like they have a product that they can sell, and it's not attractive, and it doesn't compete, and it's really sad. So, like I said before, I support Dish. I want to see them compete. I want to see them do big things, but this does not inspire confidence, folks. There's nothing good about this. One part of the company is shrinking in order to launch the other company. This is not good. It almost makes you believe, or it almost makes you think, that them selling out would probably be the best thing. I really didn't want to say this. I didn't want to jump off the Dish bandwagon too early, but this is how I look at this thing. This is how I see it. I don't like what I'm seeing right now. I think this is unfortunate news in terms of competition in the marketplace. I don't think we're going to be getting it from Dish with respect to Boost Mobile. Maybe it's a little bit better than before, but I'm a little bit down on the Boost Mobile piece. Now with the shrinkage, it looks like things are going to be kind of tough sledding over at Dish. All right, now let me go ahead and get you guys on this next story. This one's pretty interesting. Where'd it go here? There it is. All right, so I covered this earlier in a video, but I definitely want to get your guys' opinion on it. Oh, snap. Folks, this happens from time to time. It's like once in a blue moon, we have a moose sighting. Moose, the original.
Oh, damn.
What's up, buddy?
I apologize that I'm late. So much going on today.
You didn't miss too much, Moose. We just covered this Dish story. They're consolidating their Boost Mobile in order to prepare for the launch of Boost Infinite.
Oh my God.
I know exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about there, but it's just disappointing, man. I thought that they would be, selling more by now, right?
Well, we haven't seen like the proper retail launch.
Right.
I mean, I tried to make orders and my order wouldn't process. I gave up. What do you want me to? You want me to fight all week to try to spend $1,000? Man, I'm good.
Jeez.
I really did try, bro. So I did my part. I tried to be a customer. It was painful, annoying. I just gave up, man. And I've been very positive about the Moose. You can confirm that. You can speak to that, Moose.
Yep.
Who's been a bigger supporter of Dish launch than me?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I tried. I did my part, Moose, but quite the frustrating situation. Perfect timing, though, Moose. We're going to be talking about the AT&T network and the older devices that might be able to support it.
We got to talk about this one. This one.
Let me hit the screen.
I'm ready for the comment section. Chacha, the comment section has been toxic as of late. I'm ready for that.
Really? Has it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez, man. All right, guys. Let's see what we got here. We do appreciate the engagement here. AT&T's latest 5G mid-band network will support more of its older devices. We're going to be seeing the iPhone 12 generation and newer getting full support for the entire N77 band. You got the upper band, which is 3.7 gigahertz, the C band. And then we have the lower part of the band, 3.45 gigahertz, often referred to as DoD. AT&T has 40 megahertz of DoD. They have 80 megahertz of 3.7 C-band in most cases. In Dallas, in the big dub, right, they're getting 100 megahertz. Lucky bastards. All right. So we got tons of spectrum. Moose, are you excited for this, bro?
Oh, yeah. There's... So let me put it into context, Chacha. Let me put it into context. So if everybody remembers correctly, the S21 has an X60 modem, okay? The iPhone 12 series has an X55 modem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both devices can take advantage of C-band right now. But right, there was an issue, like you mentioned offline on the call, right? That needs to have a recertification, right? To
retroactive certification, I suppose.
Right, retroactive certification, right? So that being said, this one is a pretty big deal, man, because we're talking, how many iPhone 12s, man? It's millions of people.
A lot of people upgraded to the 12.
Yeah, millions of people. So,
well, you got to think about it.
It's
like AT&T pushed the upgrades that year. Remember the promo?
That's right. Yeah, because of the 5G launch in the United States, right? It was very hot, more widely available. So yeah, I think that lots of different things here. Lots of different things. I think this is a great thing. I know a lot of people, both on Reddit and on the YouTube comments, have been saying that this prevents churn. Ladies and gentlemen, speed is not a factor of churn.
No.
Until it gets to the point where it's completely unusable service, then yes, you'll churn. Right?
I will tell you though, Moose, there would have been some enthusiasts, the SMT Nation, that would have been pretty bummed out if their iPhone 12 didn't support it. They would have been very disappointed because they would have said, my phone's only a year and a half old and it doesn't support the newest band. This sucks.
Yep. Absolutely correct. Yep. But
there's some other devices too, Moose. Some older ones like from last year. All right, so we got what is this? Samsung Galaxy S21 is supported. The S22 is supported. And then the Google Pixel devices, going back to the 6 Pro, and I'm assuming the 6A as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Z Flip 3, Z Flip 4, Z Fold 3, Z Fold 4. The Apple 5G iPads are covered.
Oh, that's also very relevant. Yeah, that's very relevant there.
Right. Motorola G Stylus 5G 2021. G Stylus. The G Moto G 2022. Samsung A53, A13 as well. The Galaxy Tab S8 FE 5E 5G, whatever. Netgear Nighthawk M6 and M6 Pro.
Oh yeah, that's the latest and greatest. Yeah, those are the latest and greatest.
They're going to get updates, Moose, and they'll be covered.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great idea, man.
Don't you think this is a big announcement, Moose?
I think it is. Let me ask you this, right? So, Sneed, you have both versions of C-band.
Everywhere.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that's another thing that we got to talk about. In this article, it says that AT&T C-band reaches 80 million so far. 80 million.
Oh yeah, we could definitely get to that part. The network.
We need an SMT fact check here. We need an SMT comment here. He's going to go on record. Do you believe that AT&T will be at 100 million by the end of the year?
Okay, so the disclosure from is it the technology officer or is it the network EVP Sambar?
He's the new technology guy. Yeah,
he's the technology lead. Okay, got you. He said that currently, like today, all right, August 23rd, AT&T has 80 million pops of C-band coverage. To me, they essentially did this in 3 or 4 months. So why couldn't they reach 100 million by the end of this year? I think that is absolutely Very likely. I don't think it's a reach. I don't think it'll be by luck. I think it is likely that they meet or exceed 100 million pops by the end of this year. They could probably do it in about 3 months. Really. Seriously.
Dang.
You know, the only thing that's really holding them back, Moose, is probably supply in certain markets that, like, say, for example, utilize Ericsson. We're hearing about Ericsson shortages. There are no Nokia shortages. I already talked to tower crews. They said that Nokia is meeting demand. We have enough of the 3.7 and we have enough of the 3.4 that every single site we upgrade is getting both radios, both antennas at the same time. Supply is not an issue in the Nokia markets.
So this is not. So you're saying that this is not a Nokia issue right now. This is
no. This sounds to me, they don't have a partnership with Samsung from what I can see on mid-band gear. I don't know what they have planned with mmWave. I don't know if they're doing anything different there. We know that ORAN is a big piece of their future, right, Moose? Right.
Yep.
So you're gonna get different vendors involved, but as of right now, Nokia is full speed ahead. If you're in a Nokia market for AT&T, the upgrades are coming fast and furious, and they're going to be deep. All right, deep like a frickin' the flocks of salmon in Calcutta. All right, it's going to be deep, dog.
Oh man, it's gonna be big time.
They said they want to hit 175 million pops by the end of next year, 200 million pops by the end of next year. So that puts them on track to what? Be done by 2024? Get to 275 million pops or something?
Well, so apparently in the 9 to 5 Mac article of the same topic, right? It says that AT&T will be at 200 million pops by the middle of next year. So if we take that to account, right, Sneed?
Oh, middle of
AT&T,
next. Okay, so that would be like 6 months ahead.
Right. So
Moose,
we are
they're way
saying
ahead then.
exactly. This is what I'm thinking, Chacha. If that's the case, and that in 6 months they'll have 100 million, AT&T by the end of 2023 will be at 275, no problem.
I think some people are going to be shocked at the rate of upgrades in their market soon. If you haven't seen AT&T upgrades yet, it's going to hit your city like a ton of bricks.
Yep.
See, I'm seeing it. I'm living it. Every day I'm seeing tower crews up. I'm seeing new sites. I'm testing new sites. 5G Plus pops up on the icon. You know, I see it more and more. The only thing I would say is for the sake of FirstNet, we're hoping for a pretty quick authorization of C-band for FirstNet. And then I think we're good for the GOMOs.
I think the reason why the FirstNet side, remember how the mmWave C-band, mmWave 5G Plus, right, did not get immediate FirstNet?
Oh, it took months, man.
I think that's the same strategy here, right? Is that the N77 will not be turned on yet until it's more widely available. Especially because when you're on edge cell and you're connecting to a C-band site that's 3 miles away, that upload is atrocious right now.
Yeah, Verizon's building fast. AT&T's actually, their pace is actually faster. Verizon just got the jump. Like I started to see Verizon building like in November of 2021. They've been nonstop since, but they've had a steady, fast pace. AT&T's pace has been blistering since like April. Like the amount of work they've done in the last 3 months is insane. That same amount of work took Verizon like 5 months. And I was impressed by that. Verizon impressed me in 5 months. What AT&T did in like 3 months. You know, it's pretty astonishing. But that is my market. You know, Moose, that's the unfortunate thing, Moose. Not everybody's going to see what I'm seeing, or they're not going to see it yet, right? There's might happen later down the road. They might not see it till the end of this year, you know, Q4. They may not see it till Q1 of next year. You know, every market has a different budget. Right. It's the technical aspect of CapEx, you know. Hey, we got our first super chat here from Santiago. Appreciate it, man.
Here we go.
I've been noticing upgrades in various places across the Bay Area for AT&T lately. It's happening quickly in a market that is known for being a pain with permits. Hey, maybe they got all their ducks in a row.
And the Bay Area is a very hot market for AT&T because they don't
Market
want
share
to
wise?
lose. Yeah, market share wise, they don't want to lose positioning to T-Mobile or Verizon. And by the way, Verizon is losing market share in the Bay Area. That's a fact. Even with all the millimeter wave C-band, the tech enthusiasts, right, that can say a bunch of stuff about Verizon, who cares? The facts are people are leaving Verizon. These are the facts. Okay.
So
It's
Moose,
happening everywhere. Yeah.
what's the dynamic like in the Bay Area in terms of market share? What would you
It's
estimate?
literally neck and neck. It's all three of them competing for the same share. Everybody's at
Like 30 to
33%.
35%?
Yeah, everybody's around the same 33%.
Shouldn't that be what every market should be, Moose?
Depends, Chacha, because remember, T-Mobile has so much spectrum now, and will continue getting with the additional upgrades to band 71, band 41, right? The
Auctions.
auction and the extra purchases. T-Mobile should be able to support more folks on their network than Verizon and AT&T combined. Sorry, not combined, but like right now, right?
Oh, definitely.
But
They got all that PCS, all the N41. They got a lot. Yeah.
right. But here's the thing, though. I don't think that you would want to have everybody at 33%, only because there's not going to be much movement, Chacha. You get what I'm saying? If there's an incumbent that's at 50%, that's the best. So then those people have alternatives, to move on to the second or third, for example, the whole
My
situation with
only fear,
Cox.
Moose, my only fear is that the reason why there's so much asymmetry in market share, like there's so much disparity, is because the coverage was weak from one or more of the carriers. Like take, for example, Ohio. Ohio's an all-tel market, like as a state, as a region. It only makes sense that Verizon had big share. But I would like to see some of those customers move over to AT&T and T-Mobile, though, because AT&T and T-Mobile have worked really hard to upgrade their towers. I mean, it's really hard to argue AT&T is the best in Ohio. Like, it's hard to argue against that. They've got a lot of modernization that they've done in the last couple years. It's pretty damn phenomenal. If you have AT&T in Ohio, you're in a good place. Tons of capacity. LTE, 5G, it's all good. We're starting to see 5G plus and stuff. So I'd be okay with Verizon going from 49% in Ohio or 45% down to 35%. I'd be good with that, bro.
See, the thing is, though, man, you're going to notice, Chacha, when Verizon goes back down to the low 40% market share in your market, Verizon's going to pick up speed dramatically. And then you're going to ask, well, what happened? We're going to check the numbers, and you're going to be like, oh, damn, a lot of people have left. It's not because the speed has increased or the spectrum has, widened the channels of the spectrum. It's literally going to be because people have left. And that's what a lot of people are going to start noticing across the country, is that a lot of users on the Verizon network have been leaving to another company. That's why your speeds are increasing. On top of, if you're going from LTE to N77, that's obvious, right? But I'm talking about N77 already, and your speeds pick up. It's probably because people have left.
We're estimating what Verizon has lost maybe 1 to 2% in the last year market share.
They're on track to lose 2.5% by the end of the year total in 1 year, right?
For
January to December. Yeah, nationwide. Okay. That's a huge amount, dog.
Nationwide.
Yeah.
And then are we just saying that maybe some of those customers, we're just scattering them around a little bit of AT&T, a little bit of T-Mobile, a little bit of cable?
Actually, out of that 2.5%, the biggest grower has been cable MVNOs.
So it's been cable.
Yep. Cable, man.
Cable comes in, hey, we sell the Verizon network. You want it for less money? We'll sell it to you. Stay on our internet,
Exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of a wild concept that cable literally is disrupting the wireless industry, Moose. What do you think of that?
Well, that's because Verizon enabled them to disrupt the wireless industry, right? Think about it. Xfinity Mobile just came out with new unlimited plans. Did you see that It's very recent, like within I think yesterday or even Sunday.
Yeah, I'm about to link that story, Moose, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a screen share and we can discuss this.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, I don't know how they're making money off of this, to be completely honest with you, Chacha.
They probably aren't, Moose. They probably aren't.
Yeah, they probably aren't.
They
Yeah, but
probably aren't.
keep what I'm about to tell you. This is something that a lot of folks forget. When you go to Mexico, when you go to Canada, those unlimited roaming options from the MVNOs, cable MVNOs specifically, they do not have roaming in those countries. Check the terms and conditions before you buy. Just because you're enticed to go to $29.99 from Spectrum Mobile or $30 a line, right? The same thing, $30 a line for Xfinity Mobile. It doesn't ever give you the what is it called? You're not maximizing your buying power, because Metro PCS and Cricket, damn, even TracFone have better options than the cable MVNOs.
Does TracFone get you covered in Mexico?
I believe so. And Visible Plus now, right? Visible, right?
They cover middle Canada, don't they?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, man, is that like they gave the cable MVNOs the bare bottom pricing so that they can do the $29.99, but the perks are not the same. It's not like for like.
There really is not much for perks. This is 100% for the cost-sensitive customer. So here's the setup. Previously, you had to have 4 lines on Xfinity Mobile to get the $30 per line rate. Now what they're doing, Moose, is all you have to do is do a multi-line account. 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines. Doesn't matter. You're getting $30 per line. And then any of the lines after 4 lines, I think, is 20. So lines 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and up to 10 lines, those come in at $20 per line. So there's crazy good value when it comes to the price. But when it comes to what's included, you're not getting the traditional postpaid offer. You know, You're not getting, like you said, the inclusion of Canada calling, Mexico calling. I don't even think you can get roaming. Like, you can't take it with you. You don't even have like a roaming agreement to cover you. Like, is Verizon going to cover you?
Right. No.
So you're leaving it behind, and you're going to have to take a phone to Mexico and buy a SIM card when you're there. You know, for example.
I wouldn't even say like that, Chacha. You're just SOL. Seriously. You're I mean, dude, if you think about it, right? You are in a very strange predicament.
It's price to kill, but like true value, tangible value, like, oh, look at all the stuff I get. It doesn't have any of that. It doesn't have any of that AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile panache. You know how T-Mobile's got like the Europe access, the 5 gigs, like all that stuff's pretty nice. You're not getting any of that here, man.
Yeah, and that's another thing that a lot of folks forget. And then when they realize, right, that, they're like, oh, hell no. And then they switch back to whatever carrier they want.
Yeah, if I'm a traveler, I think this one's off the table. What do you think, Moose?
Yeah, I'll give you a perfect example. This actually happened to a buddy of mine's uncle, right? He went from Verizon, he went to AT&T. He was like, it's $35 a line is too expensive, especially if I don't have connectivity in my work. So then he switched to Spectrum Mobile, right? He gets connectivity again, bare minimum connectivity. But when he went to Mexico, his phone was useless. So it's like you screwed yourself. You shot yourself in the foot. Yeah, you have connectivity at lunchtime for what, like 10 minutes that you have for lunch. But who cares? Because when you go in Mexico for a month in December, you are screwed. So you switch back to AT&T.
I think EM Tech has a point. This probably impacts less than 10% of the population. But for that 10% who travel, they'd have to reconsider. I don't think this is a good option for them.
Well, hold on. I wouldn't say that it's 10% of the people who travel. Chacha, how many Hispanics are there in the United States? Let's go right down to the bare bones right there. How many people go to Mexico every year? How
Tens
many
of millions.
millions?
Tens of millions.
Tens of millions go to Southern America and Mexico every year, including Caucasian folks that go to Cancun, that go to different parts of Mexico. So don't give me that BS, EM Tech, okay? I'm telling you right now, if you don't have Mexico calling or Mexico anything, that's a significant reduction right there of your benefits.
Yeah, EM is saying when he was in Europe, the only feasible option was AT&T. He opted to buy a SIM local because $10 per day is still significantly more expensive than a local SIM. Yeah, you're probably going to pay $30 for a local SIM, and that gets you covered for a month, right? And it's like 50 gigs of data.
Yep.
EM Tech said, "Let me at him."
Look, the numbers don't lie. You can even look at the census data and other data points online.
You remember when T-Mobile did their uncarrier thing or whatever? Like Roger even got the numbers. Like less than 30% of people have a up-to-date passport. So they're not traveling internationally.
I don't know, man. Talk to all the Mexicans that travel every December for the things.
How many people do you estimate, Moose?
Let me Google it right now, Doc. Hold on.
I mean, I think those are the people that would be taking advantage of some kind of a value added, where they're like roam a home or whatever they call that thing. I think that's why a lot of people do like the T-Mobile thing, and they do. Remember back in the day, Sprint used to have a nice roaming thing with Canada, didn't they?
Yeah, the Canada roaming is also pretty big, even though there might not be that many people that go to Canada. Hold on, I'm almost done with the Google search. Okay, so I typed in on Google, how many Americans travel to Mexico? Okay. 6.5 million August 21 period. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So in just 8 months, right, of last year, from what's it called here? What's this name? This is directly from Mexico stats. Oh, this is good. So directly from Mexico stats, they did in 2021 20.1 million total. Okay, in 2020 they did 15.7 because of COVID, but in 2019 close to 30 million passengers traveled to Mexico. From US alone, in 2021 it was 6.5 million. In 2019 it was 7.4 million. So clearly, close to 10 million people, dude. That's a lot of people. And those were numbers just by air, mostly. So
Manny is saying, AT&T prepaid unlimited max with the Walmart $45 plan. Major Mexico cities are covered. It roams on Telcel in rural areas, but it's close to 2G speeds.
Yeah.
That's rough, bro.
Yeah, I was on that Telcel roaming, dude. It was not good.
What were you doing? Just some basic stuff, some email and such?
Well, I was doing more GPS, actually. I mean, it's good enough to do GPS, but damn, man. By the way, even Telcel does not have the whole country covered.
Who's the most comprehensive coverage network in Mexico? Is it still
Definitely Telcel. Yeah.
It's Telcel. They're the most coverage.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're the monopoly and the most coverage, but they don't have everywhere covered yet, right? So it's a work in progress.
Who else is up there? Who's their number two?
Well, that's where it becomes interesting, right? So Movistar, right, from Telefonica in Spain, has the number 2 position, but they're now doing spectrum sharing and tower sharing with AT&T Mexico, which is number 3. right? So that's interesting, right? Is that
How's that
Movistar?
business operation right now? Like, are they thriving? Are they growing? Or is it kind of tough for them to overcome, Movistar
Mhm.
and Telcel?
I think that, so it's funny, right? AT&T is the disruptor in Mexico right now, right? Because they
Pretty
are the
crazy.
lowest share. Yeah, it's so different, right? They have the lowest share, so then they come in with the lowest possible price point, and they have to also advertise that, hey, you have the same network in US as you do in Mexico, right? So that's another key feature that Telcel or Movistar can't advertise, right? So then a lot of folks, actually, this is what a lot of folks are doing now, right? Is that they have family members in the United States. Instead of paying an AT&T Mexico line, they just buy an AT&T US line,
They just
and then you
roam
can
like
use it.
it's
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly. They just roam in
Can they
Mexico
do that with
unlimited.
Cricket?
Yeah. You can do that with Cricket. Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah.
Wow. And they're coming in paying what, 40, 50, $60 on a promo?
Um, if you do the 100 by 4 or 5 lines, I forgot. I think it's like either $25 or $20 a line on
Is
Cricket.
Cricket still doing the 4 for 100?
I think they increased it to 4 to 25 because of inflation, man. But I might be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, we're always watching for those price increases, man. It sucks. I hate having to report that, Moose, but it's like these companies ain't going to sit there and eat up the extra inflationary costs. They're going to push it
Yeah,
onto the customer, man.
that's absolutely right.
Zero Cool chimes in. Rogers in Canada, you'll want to have AT&T. The Cha-Cha's been talking about travel, and he's saying like people aren't going to be doing it much. Inflation sucks. So maybe that keeps people. I mean, people are definitely looking for cost savings, Moose.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's, it there's definitely a lot of opportunities to make a lot of money right now. Sorry, to save a lot of money right now. If you ever wanted to do a trip to Europe, this is the perfect time to do it, because the dollar to euro, forex is basically 1 to 1. $1 is almost €1. It's like 98 or 99 cents versus the, but
It hasn't been like this
yep,
since like the inception of the euro.
exactly.
Yeah. Like I can't remember a time where this actually was the case. Yeah, it's been slow. I mean, for a summer, it's definitely been slow. I mean, the inflation hit hard by June, man. Your dollars weren't stretching. One US dollar is now over a euro. Oh, okay.
Oh,
All
it
right, so
is? Hold up.
it's
I gotta check
happening.
this out.
That means
Holy
that means
crap.
this has all happened in the last, because I know it was getting pretty close.
Yep. Let me
Yeah.
see here.
Wow. That's crazy. Is anybody accepting rubles anymore? The Russian currency?
By the way, it was 1.01 on yesterday, actually.
Yeah, that happened
Wow.
this week then. Yeah.
It happened this week, dude. That's crazy.
Moose, is the market crashing, by the way? Is that going to be a thing?
I don't know about that. I mean, remember this, Chacha, and I've said this on many podcasts ago. If there's one thing that I do know, people will always pay their phone bill
Yeah.
versus their mortgage payment, which is crazy to me.
They'll be late on their mortgage in order to pay their phone bill.
Yep.
Yeah, with school starting, that's a good point. Parents are buying a lot of supplies, getting stuff for their kids, putting everything else on the back burner. AT&T stock a deal? I think so. Oceanic vibes. I don't know how long people think AT&T is going to be stuck in the basement, but that's a profitable company. If they can start to kind of pay down the debt, I think the investor comes back.
Yep.
The T-Mobile stock is interesting. Their PE ratio, Moose, is like awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 160. Right?
Jesus.
Like AT&T's PE ratio is like 6.
My God.
Verizon's is like 14. to show you that there's like no value. But it's crazy because the market analyst people, the Moffett Nathansons of the world, they're like, yeah, we just downgraded AT&T to $16. We downgraded Verizon to $41, and we're upgrading T-Mobile to $176 from like, I think they were like in the 150 or something.
Oh God.
Yeah, and it's like, and the only thing I could think of is just the fact that they don't have debt. There's really nothing else there. AT&T and Verizon both offer dividends, so that attracts the dividend investor. But T-Mobile's got an IP ratio. They don't have much debt like compared to their competitors. The way they say it too, like Moffett Nathanson, they say they're the best house on a bad block. So it's like yeah, the best house out of a bad block. So they're basically saying telco's trash, screw that, but if you're going to buy something, buy T-Mobile. And it must be just the continued growth. I don't know. What do you think?
Wait. You're saying that T-Mobile's the best bet because they're the best house on the worst block? Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, that the market analysts, the bank people, the investor people, they say T-Mobile is the best house on a bad block.
Nasty. I don't like that at all.
They're basically saying Verizon and AT&T are absolute trash, and the least trash of everything is T-Mobile.
Jesus.
So it'd be the equivalent of like 3 junky cars for sale, and all three are rusted, but 2 of them have flat tires, and one of them, it's just got a cracked rim, but all the tires are inflated.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
So let me ask you this. So what do you think is going to happen this next month, man, with the iPhone?
The iPhone launch is going to be a big thing. It's going to be a lot of hoopla.
Yep.
I think it's going to sell really well. I think there's going to be a lot of conversions, people trading in things like, I don't know, what would that be, Moose? Like the iPhone 11 generation, you think be a lot of upgrades?
iPhone 11, iPhone 10s. I mean, Jesus,
I think 10Rs are going to be coming back in too, which is crazy.
Yep.
They're going to be getting those 14s. I think a lot of people are going to buy that 14 Max. I think a lot of people are going to get the 14 Max. They're not going to get the Pro Max. They're going to get the 14 Max. It's probably going to come in around 1,000, right, Moose?
Well, the leaks have been saying that it's going to be coming around like 15% higher. So let's say 10% higher to be conservative.
Okay, so last year, what did the 13 come at? 839?
The 13 base, the base 13, or are you talking about the Pro 13?
Base 13.
Base, it's at what, like $799 with a contract price, or not contract, but the EIP, the installment plan price.
Yeah. And then what was the Max? It was or not the Max, the Pro.
The Pro at $999.
Okay, so we're gonna expect to see what, 900 for the regular 14, maybe 1,000 for the 14 Max, maybe 1,100 for the Pro, and then I don't know, 1,249 for the Pro Max. I have no idea what to expect, man.
I'm thinking, to be completely honest with you, I think that the base model 14 will be $50 more expensive, if not $100 more expensive.
Got an EM Tech sighting. We got a Moose sighting and an EM Tech sighting. Let's go.
Oh, snap.
I'm ready, because you can't tell me that people don't travel, dog.
Oh, I'm not saying people don't travel, but here I'm gonna lay it out for you, because I have a perfect scenario for exactly what we were talking about. So I traveled to Europe with a group. My primary line's on AT&T.
Right.
My girl's line's on AT&T.
Right.
One of the people we traveled with was on Spectrum Mobile.
Oh,
and then the fourth person was on an AT&T business account. So out of the 4 people, my girl and I did local SIMs, spent $15, got 100 gigs of data for the 12, 13 days we were there.
Yep.
The person with Spectrum Mobile couldn't use their phone whatsoever.
Oh,
No
damn.
local SIM because it's locked and on-device payments through Spectrum. And the person with the AT&T business line paid the $10 a day. So I'm not saying people don't travel, but if I had gone to, or if I had paid for AT&T, it would have cost me $150 versus $30.
Wait. This was before the institution of the $100 per month cap?
It's $100 per month cap. That's a per line thing though, right?
No, the second line and the third line. So the first line, let's say there's two lines. The first line is $100 cap. The second line is $50 cap. So it's 50% of the first one, basically.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Because I got billed 10 for mine and then 5 for hers. So it would have cost me $150. I did use it for the first 2 days as we were like getting settled in or whatever. But when you think about what it costs for a SIM in any other country, it's significantly less, especially if you're there for more than 2 or 3 days, you know? So the exclusion of international roaming on these cable MVNOs or on US Mobile's basic plan or Visible's basic, whatever it is, as long as your phone's unlocked, it's still probably going to be cheaper than an international roaming plan. So like my whole point being that it's probably not as big of a deal for most people than what I think a lot of people make it out to be. You know, I know that there are certain subsections of the population that definitely would take advantage of it. But when you look at the bigger picture, I mean, there's 330 million people that live in this country.
Yep.
Not as much as I think a lot of people make it out to be. I don't know. I don't want to go on a soapbox about it.
I don't know. That's fine. You know, one of the things though, did you know that there's more than 330 million lines active in the United States?
That doesn't surprise me. Probably half of them come from the SMT community. So,
well, let me ask you this: what's the like number per person in the United States? You think that is it like 1.25, 1.5 per person in the United States? I honestly feel like there's more lines than people. And not honestly, I know for a fact that's the case, but I'm saying that it's at least 1.35 per person on average.
I mean, I would go further and say it's probably even more than that. I mean, think about yourself. You probably have a work phone. You have your personal line.
I have 7 phones in front of me right now.
Jesus Christ.
That's a totally different situation, man.
but think of like you got people who have work phones. If you want to count that as a line,
that's counted. Yeah,
like it's probably closer to 2. I mean, a lot of people I know have at least 2 phone numbers that they use on the regular, with the exception of like I don't know, my younger family members. I don't know. Like, and especially now with all of these new MVNOs coming out where people are okay paying $25-$30 for a secondary line on eSIM, it's super easy and cheap. It's going to keep going up, I think.
Wow. And by the way, I was going to ask you, so going back to the roaming thing, right? This Spectrum Mobile person that had the Spectrum Mobile, did they regret not being on a actual either MVNO that had roaming or on a on a postpaid carrier that had roaming, or did they not care because they were getting it so cheap in the United States?
To say the least I can about it, we didn't want to talk with that person because they wouldn't stop complaining about it. So it's a major inconvenience if you don't know it's an inconvenience prior to going, you know? Because I had brought it up to the group before we left. I was like, hey, make sure your phones are unlocked or make sure you have some sort of international data before we leave. And that's when we got our SIMs situated, converted them to eSIM through the settings, and then had it ready so that we could just pop a SIM in. And then they were like, "Oh, well, my phone's still on the payments, and I don't know what I'm gonna do." I'm like, you're kind of
That's
SOL.
exactly.
Yeah. So it was a major inconvenience for that person because it was either we had to hotspot them or it was use a sketchy public Wi-Fi network at a coffee shop. So
Jesus.
um it my best recommendation to anyone, if you're going to travel, just make sure you do a little bit of research before you make a plan change or a carrier switch or even a phone purchase. Because BYOD is fine. The service would be fine because then you could just take
Right.
a SIM out. But it's a lot. The majority of people don't really actively think about that because it's just kind of second nature to like sign up for a bill or sign up for a plan, whatever.
And then here's another thing that I was going to ask you. So you guys all actively researched how you're going to stay connected while you travel? Most people don't do that, right? Like
I would
you know what
say,
I'm saying?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say I did the majority of the research. Most people, I would assume, would just be like, assume that their phone's going to work while they're there. They don't even think about it.
Assume that it's going to work, but it's at a cost, right? It's not going to be free, right? People can't be that delusional, right?
I mean, I would like to think that, but yeah. I mean, I would say that the convenience factor of having your carrier offer you a reasonable international roaming option is it's a nice perk if you're going to take advantage of it.
Right.
But if you're not going to, who cares? Like,
right.
Hey, gents, can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, Santiago, thanks for the super chat, sir. From the cellular side of things, are the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro both expected to have the same modem this year like in the last 2 years?
Oh man,
that's
this
tough.
is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
I mean,
So,
I
okay.
don't expect a different modem, but I mean,
What?
is it possible?
Yes, I expect a different modem every year. Remember the
No,
contract, right?
no. For between the 14 and the 14 Pro.
Oh. Okay, sorry, I misinterpreted the
Yeah, so this
question.
is a question about, is the 14 and 14 Pro from a cellular standpoint going to be the same?
Remember the contract, right? That they signed in
A year and a
2018,
half ago, 2
2019.
years ago.
Yeah, the one with Qualcomm to avoid the lawsuit. Remember that one?
Yeah.
It was, we are going to provide for 5 years with a possible extension of 2 years, right? A 5G modem for your phones. That's literally, you can Google it. It's all over 95 Mac rumors. Everybody has it in their archives. So if we think about it, this is the third of 5. So we're what, 60% of the way through the contract. Okay. That means that this phone that's coming up next month will have the next generation Qualcomm modem, which my indications is that it's the X65, right? Or X6 or X70. But in my opinion, I think it's the X65 because it goes up in 5 increment every year. It's a, you know how, I don't know if you remember this, Chacha, but the S22, right? It does have a system on a chip with an integrated modem, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that it's an X65. Let me Google it really quick. EM, do you want to jump in here?
It is. Yeah, it's X65. I think Santiago's probably referring to those rumors that we heard that maybe the base 14s were going to have the same chip as the 13s, which in turn would potentially mean that they'd have an X60 instead of a 65, which I think is a fair possibility, to be honest.
MS, thank you for the super chat, sir. He said, should do a poll. How many lines per person in the SMT Nation? I think 95 or 96% of people in the SMT Nation have one line of service. I think there's a small percentage of individuals that have multiple lines because they're crazy people like us with 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. I mean, if I didn't have a channel where I was testing lines of service, I would have 2 lines. I would have an AT&T line, and I would have my old Verizon line. I would have the AT&T Elite. That'd be it. The Elite, and then my old school Verizon line. I'd be good.
Probably still be on my Sprint Unlimited Basic before I started getting into this.
You'd be on your Kickstart.
Yeah, dude. That $25.
Show it $25. You paying too much, bro. People were getting those lines for $15.
Oh man. Those are the days, man.
Some people had it for free and they were paying taxes.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And they were like registering the number in like Nebraska. So the taxes were like $4.
That was a wild time in the industry when that whole thing, like, people were willing to switch off their legacy mega discounted plans from multiple carriers to get that $25, $15.
Yeah,
I've never seen people flock to Sprint before.
There was a $35 variation at the end. I remember the 25. I remember the 15. Then I remember the free ones.
By the way, so I was looking up the tech specs of the X70, which would be the iPhone 15's modem. Dude.
The next Galaxy devices in February.
Yep. Comprehensive 4-carrier aggregation on 5G bands.
Will we see Moose? Will we see CBRS, C-band, millimeter wave combos?
Yep, that's what they're saying. Also, it says 60% improved power efficiency, which is really key. It says 5G millimeter wave sub-6 aggregation. Boom, right there. It says 5G standalone, of course. It says, this one is interesting, 5G ultra low latency suite for the Qualcomm software there. Okay, so this one's interesting. 5G global multi-SIM, including dual SIM, dual active, and millimeter wave support. So both phones will be able to take advantage of, both lines of service will be able to take advantage of the dual SIM millimeter wave capabilities. This is interesting. Millimeter wave multi-SIM. That's interesting. Let's see here. And voice over NR support, of course, from the X70.
So if you care about cellular whatsoever, you should probably skip the 14, is what you're saying?
No, I honestly feel like anybody who's an enthusiast at this point that's not on the iPhone upgrade program is wasting their money. Seriously.
They should just wait for the next gen.
No. Hear me out. If you want to get the latest iPhone every year and you're not on direct iPhone upgrade program by Apple, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You're going to get the phone every year. So unless you're selling the phone every single year, how are you going to be, saving that money?
I mean, what I've done for the last few years, I usually buy mine outright from like a Best Buy, because they'll give you an instant trade-in, and then they have some activation deal. So I think I paid like $150 for my 13 Pro, trading in my 12 Pro. Which, when you do the math on like the Apple Card and like what you'll get from a trading credit from them, it works out to be about the same, give or take. But there's other options other than like the Apple Card or Apple upgrade programs. Then you don't have to really worry about financing, I guess, because that program requires financing, right?
Yes, you do it through I forgot the Citizens Bank. That's the bank, I guess, that the Apple is using. However, right, with this rumored iPhone subscription service that's coming out sometime in the future, that iPhone subscription service is basically, hey, you are paying so much per month directly from Apple, bypassing Citizens Bank, and there you go. You now are paying per month, $50 a month, $40 a month, whatever it's going to be, but you have everything insured directly by Apple. And they have a massive war chest. That's what the rumor was, right? Is that they're going to use this war chest as their own bank, essentially. So it's pretty amazing.
Doesn't Google offer something like that? Did that ever take off or no? Because I thought there was a rumor that they were going to do like a subscription plan with the Pixel phones.
They do it through like Fi. They have like
through
some kind of
through Fi. Okay.
yeah, they do some kind of special rebates, and they do deals on service too, like free month or two of service. I've seen that. Oh, it's called Pixel Pass, right? Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So I mean, if
Yeah.
that's the way of the future, which to be honest, I think that's where a lot of people are going to start going because
Treating their phone purchases as subscription services, get on to the next one, the next generation.
yeah, I mean, think about it. Especially if you're a heavy phone user, your battery's going to degrade after a year or a year and a half. Would you pay to get it replaced or just trade it in and get a new one?
So,
Like
SimTech, you're essentially going to be leasing your phone, right? If it's $50 a month, right, and you're going to do this over 12 months, are you a fan of paying $600 a year to rent a phone?
me personally, not really. But
Okay,
I
40 a
I
month?
see
40 a month? Is it getting closer to the sweet spot?
Hold up. We also have to remember this, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, if you pay $650 a year, you get the phone insured, right? It has Apple Pay, sorry, Apple
Apple Care Plus, right?
the Care Plus, right? The Care Plus. And if you pay just a little bit more, it's also insured if it gets stolen. I think a lot of people do the peace of mind.
I agree. I agree with Moose.
So we're
If
talking
they
about what,
include
$700 a year?
I mean, come on. How many people
Moose,
go to
the phone is
$700 to the casino?
$900. The phone's going to be $900 out. You're going to lease it for
Yeah.
$700 just to get Apple Care Plus and
Well,
give
hold
it
up.
back after a year?
Hold up. How many people waste $700 in a year? Right?
This
Oh,
would be
wait,
wasting $700 a year. Yes.
right? Or think about it like this. To the people that lose a phone at least one time a year, at least just one time a year, or they damage it or whatever, right? And by the way, some of my family members do this all the time. They lose a phone, the little ones break the phone. They lost it in Europe. No joke. This happened like 3 weeks ago. They lost the phone in Europe. Who knows what the hell happened? No problem. Done. But since the mom still, has to pay, that's a significant bill. Just in the last 2 years, they've lost the phone 4 times, man. I'm like, God damn, what is wrong with you women, man? It's like you just save your
Yeah, that's
phone, put it in your
crazy.
hand or something,
That's nuts, man.
Crazy.
But think about it, it's probably going to include like Apple One, kind of like how Google includes the cloud storage, the YouTube Premium, and the Play Pass. Like a lot of people are paying $30 a month for that service by itself through Apple.
Yep, I am one of those people for the whole family. Yeah.
Exactly. So you're telling me 30, I'm already paying 30 for this. I get on a subscription program for $45 or $50 that includes the phone and insurance on that phone. My net cost really only goes up like $25-$30 at the most. That's not a bad deal, especially because that's what most people are paying for financing these phones over 36 months at a carrier. So it's not a bad gig, Sneed. I think you're looking at it from the wrong light.
I can do math, my brother.
But I mean, I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of people who are already spending a crap ton of money on all these extra services through Apple. You might as well just tack on the hardware at that point.
Yeah, but how is this not a consideration in an inflationary economy? Like
Well, hold
how
on.
is everything else
Yeah.
how everything else going to be under the microscope of finances? But then now all of a sudden you want them to shell out more money?
So check this out. I have a good, reliable mole. That's all I'm going to say. Within the Apple Store. Okay. This Sunday, all Apple stores will have the readout of the new phone, what it's going to look like, how much it's going to cost, how they're going to sell it this Sunday. Okay, for Apple Store employees, retail. Do you know how many times we have people that straight up go to the Apple Store and they're told, "Hey, you don't need to pay this in cash right now. Sign up for an Apple card. Only takes 30 minutes and you get your card and you can pay an Apple Pay immediately." How many of those people buy thousands and thousands of dollars of merchandise and it's at 0 APR because it's directly for Apple for a certain period of time? Dude,
Well,
they are doing the strategy of Best Buy.
They got the Goldman Sachs, don't they?
They have it, yeah.
I was gonna say Best Buy's been doing that for years and years and years. You walk
That's
in,
why
you
people
sign up for a
have
credit.
moved away from carriers and they've gone to like the Geek Squad option or whatever.
I mean, I was just talking to one of my friends who works there. Their like yearly subscription for tech support supports or includes Apple Care on all Apple devices you buy directly from them. Like the subscription model for even these other things, your hardware, your whatever, it's very popular. People play into it. I think that's the way we're moving. I don't know.
I'll give you another idea, guys. So what if I told you, and by the way, this is going to happen, Chacha, I'm telling you right now. How many kids under the age of 10 years old are going to get the latest iPhone because it's free? I'm telling you, we're talking about millions of little kids that this year
I'll tell
for
you
the
what,
holiday
Moose.
season. Yeah.
Moose, I work in an affluent community.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you. I'll let you know.
I can guarantee you at least 15 million devices this go around will
Moose,
be from little kids.
I have 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders. I will let you know, dog.
Yep. I'm telling you, I have a very strong feeling that these little kids are going to be getting the phone because it's free.
You know what's crazy, Moose?
Yeah.
Make sure you let them know, man. Tell them you've never been wrong. I've never
I'm
lost.
undefeated, never lost. No, but dude, I'm serious. For example, I know this is perfect because we have somebody here that can actually vouch for this. Chacha, be honest here. When is Yasmin going to get a phone for emergency purposes? And because it's a free phone, are you going to get her a flip phone that you have to pay money for? Or are you going to just trade in a device and get an iPhone?
It's me and a walkie-talkie, bro.
God. I think at 8 to 9 to 10 years old, she's going to get a phone. And I'll guarantee I'll put money on it right now.
How about
Because
just how about just a wearable like a cellular watch?
That's another thing too. Kids are getting those at 5, 6, 7 years old now. Watches, an SE.
Oh snap! What up, Jaime? What's going on, bruh? We got Jaime in the
Moose,
house.
even if you want to use my
Yeah.
my family as an example, I've got 3 younger siblings, all middle school to high school age, all on free phone promos on iPhones, new iPhones, because it was cheaper to go that route than it was to get like a flip phone or a cheap Android phone or even like an iPhone SE that was free with credits. Like, why wouldn't I get them a nicer phone that's going to last them longer, you know?
And this is the other reason why, ladies and gentlemen, because that phone retains its value in a promotional situation down the line. So if you get them a free iPhone 13 or iPhone 12, for example, perfect example. I have a couple friends of mine that in the iPhone 12 era, right, the new phone came out, they had like iPhone 8s, iPhone 7s, and at the time the promo was you get a free iPhone 12 if you trade in an iPhone 6, 7, or 8, right? So they did it. They were like, let's make it happen. And guess what? 2 years down the line, now that the phone is kind of worn out, it's messed up, blah, blah, they're going to get the iPhone 14. I'm telling you right now, how many iPhone 12s are there that they're going to do the exact same thing? I'm telling you, dog. I'm going to pull up the LeVar Ball right now, dog. I'm undefeated, never lost. I'm telling you.
I'm on his train. When I was working at Best Buy on the 12 launch, we were telling customers, go buy a cheap iPhone 6s or a 7 on Swappa and trade it in. This phone will be free, or whatever the deal was at the time. Go buy a cheap used phone, trade it in, get the free phone, and then down the line, 2.5 years or whatever the timeline was, you can trade this phone in and it'll probably get you another free phone. And people were like, oh,
they'd be getting the 14 right now, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
And by the way, Chacha, here we go.
I'm undefeated, never lost.
We need a soundboard, dog. We need a soundboard. I'm telling you. That'd be perfect.
We need that. We need the Death Star music, the Imperial March.
Dude, see, EM Tech said it perfectly. These people are not stupid. They know that we are going to have an indefinite era of these promotions until the carriers change their mind. But
Verizon.
Only Verizon. Out. Exactly. Only Verizon seems to be out right now.
Verizon, they pull the plug on stuff. It's good for a week or two, then it's gone. Traffic picks up, and then they get rid of it. Like, what the hell? It's freaking weird. AT&T stays pretty aggressive. They run the promos. All customers, doesn't matter the plan, existing, new, they don't care. You know, they're ready to acquire the customer, man.
Well, Verizon likes to do it where they have like targeted offers. So they'll offer you the new customer deal as an existing customer, but not every single customer gets it. It's a targeted marketing scheme. It's stupid.
And this is why they don't truly have success through the duration of the quarter. I mean, people realize that not only are they the most expensive plan-wise, but promotionally, they're wishy-washy. The best deals are at AT&T, and the second best are Magenta MAX over at T-Mobile. Yeah.
Right. We have a super chat here.
Oh, snap. Go ahead, Moose. You take this one, bro.
So we got a super chat from Ruben. Thank you so much for the $5. We got a $5. I was like thinking the $5 box. You know? Okay, anyways, our 10-year-old has an iPhone 13, hashtag undefeated. Hashtag undefeated. Oh, man, great content, amigo. SMT for the win. Thank you, Ruben, for the super chat.
Big Rubes.
You see, there we go, dude. A 10-year-old dog, 10 years old, iPhone 13. Damn.
Undefeated Moose, never lost.
Well, no, this is the thing though, and I gotta feel, because eventually in my lifetime I'm gonna have a child. Okay, there is a very, very sensitive philosophical debate of when is the right time to introduce technology to a child's development. Do you give them an iPad at 4, 5, 6 so that they can do Duolingo? Do you know that app Duolingo, right? The languages app, right? Or there's other apps, right, that they're good for, cognitive abilities and mathematicals and all this other stuff, right? But then there's another group of people that they're like, it is what it is. They're either going to get it at school with the Chromebooks and all this other stuff, or iPads that they're giving away, right, that they take them home, or I might as well, show them how to use their technology here at home. I don't know where I stand on that debate yet, but what I can tell you is this. If I'm thinking about 3 or 4 kids, that's a lot of cell phones. That's a minimum, right?
You got to pay for those lines, Cha-Cha.
And lines, exactly. So think about it. $1,200 now times 4, just in almost $5,000, not including tax. Then the service, it's going to be what, about $35 per line, right? So 30 times 4, right? Times 12 months. We're talking about $1,400 plus, not including taxes, on its service. Dude, we're talking about a lot of money, man. There was a interesting stat that I saw the other day where it's like the cost of raising a child is no longer $100,000 from 0 to 1,800. It's $300,000+, bro. Probably even more, man, if you include college and all that.
I mean, you got to have some form of communication with them. I was kind of thinking, the smartwatch, I think, plays a pivotal role in that. If you just want to give them that as variable, taking calls and such.
That's right. I think it has
the app integration is limited, right? It's like small scale application usage access.
Mm-hmm. It's about setting boundaries, making sure your kids understand that, like, hey, you have this, but don't overstay your welcome or overuse it. Like my younger siblings have iPhones, but they're heavily monitored through like the Verizon Smart Family thing, so my mom can control all of that remotely for them. And I think where kids nowadays have it's a weird dynamic. My sister's going into her junior year of high school, and she was telling me about it. It's like some kids don't have phones, and it's like a social status thing. If you don't have a cell phone or you don't have a smartphone or an iPhone, as much as we think it's like a social status thing with adults, it's even worse in school. It's crazy. So it's almost like an unnecessary or a necessary evil for kids, especially as they get older.
What if a kid says they don't want one?
No way.
No chance. No.
So okay, perfect example here. And you're right about the status symbol. I know someone that they gave their child at 7 years old the latest and greatest iPhone. At the time, it was the iPhone 12. They were the first from their small clique that got the iPhone 12 because it was on launch day, literally on launch day. That Friday, the device delivered at 7 a.m. They went to school with it, and everybody knew what it was immediately. So you're right. It is a status symbol in the lower grades, but even more so, they're now connected. So that's why I feel like it's a philosophical debate, right? Then Sneed has a good point. What about a watch, right? The watch could track where the child is. It could, alert if there's an issue, so many different things, right? But there's no chance that nobody there will be a very small chance that somebody will say, the child would say, I'm not interested in a phone. That's tough, especially in the United States. In another country, maybe, but not in the United States.
And I think the carriers know that, which is why they offer all of these entry-level iPhones or whatever for free, because they know that kid is going to have more pull on that parent than any sales rep at any store over the phone through a chat box, whatever. That kid that's like, Mom, Dad, I need a phone because all of my friends have it and I gotta have it because I look like a nerd, whatever. It causes anxiety for these kids nowadays because they feel like they're missing out, especially in social situations. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I don't want to get into it too much more.
Well, you're gonna have the opportunity to make those calls, man, when you start having your own children. Those are decisions that you will make.
In this economy,
I like the watch. I like the watch idea. I do. I don't know. High school age, they definitely need communication. So
the Gizmo watch, to my surprise, like AT&T and T-Mobile have not come out with some sort of competition to that service line. Like I've seen people go to a Verizon store and sign up for the Gizmo standalone by itself because nobody else offers a product like it. It's in a class of its own right now, especially for younger kid, like elementary school age. I don't know, Moose. Maybe if you want $1 million idea, take that.
Say that again. The which one?
The Gizmo watch.
Oh no, well, that's why Apple came out with that the Watch SE, right? Because it's cheap enough, like what, $199, $250, right? Where you can get it on cellular, you have all the tracking capabilities, and you can pair it with your iCloud, right? Similar to like a AirTag, right? Like for example, it's for the both extremes, for the young kids and for the old folks, right? Like how we call them in Spanish, viejitos, right? With 70 plus, 80 plus years old, that they don't have a phone. But you still want to keep track of where the hell they are, So, and they can get connection. They can, get a cellular connection so that they can call the watch, and it's like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Or whatever the case may be. But you're right. And by the way, I skipped that era, right? I was in probably like what 5 years too early. And Sneed, I know you're in the same boat. You know, there was no watches, cellular watches at the time. There was no iPads cellular at the time, right? That came in 2011, right? But there was in 2007 the first iPhone, and that first iPhone has, opened up a lot of different doors for a lot of different things on how you can monetize the cellular connectivity. Because if a lot of people don't remember this, but you paid for minutes, you paid for texting, and then you paid for your data, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's all one bill, one line item. This is how much you're paying for your service. And one of the things that I can tell you is back then your phone calls were more expensive than your data, which is crazy to me, right? You Monday through Friday before 7 p.m. If you're calling, it's costing you a lot of money, right? That's why they had weekend minutes or rollover minutes for AT&T, and then they had other features. Everything was based off of profitizing on the calling. But then once calling drastically went down, then they started profitizing on data. So that's huge.
I can't
So what's
relate.
the next frontier, Moose?
Well, the next frontier is going to be this, ladies and gentlemen: augmented and virtual reality connected by cellular, not by Wi-Fi. A lot of people don't have a Wi-Fi connection that's stable enough to do the augmented reality features the virtual reality features that they want to do. But look at N41, look at N77. They're capable of giving you exactly what you need, right? The only thing that needs to be improved is this standalone, right? So that the ping times get low enough, right? So that you're not having issues with your eyes and such, right? For the lag factor. But the two biggest increases in cellular technology are going to be connected devices, right? And it's going to be this augmented and virtual reality headsets, and all that.
So to piggyback off that, when do you think we'll see true standalone offered, even in some capacity, from Verizon and AT&T?
Well, what's going to be crazy is I think there was like an indication that by the fourth quarter of this year, there would already be elements of the standalone core turned on. But true standalone, I honestly believe that not until more C-band is turned on, and you will also see a migration. So there's going to be a couple of like clues in order for you to determine it yourself, for everybody listening. When the carriers start shifting spectrum bands from LTE to 5G, that's the first indication. The second indication is that your entire market, wherever you go, you have a 5G ultra wideband, ultra capacity, or a 5G plus logo. If it never stops saying that, then you're good. Or even a 5G, not 5G, but 5G logo, then you are ready to go for standalone in that market. Because remember, it's going to be market based, right? Most likely Dallas, most likely LA, Miami, Chicago, all the launch cities, right? New York City, those are going to be the big ones that are going to have the standalone first.
It's interesting because I've been trying to just kind of pick up on the different clues that the carriers are kind of throwing out there. With iOS 16 in the beta software, my AT&T line, I have the 5G standalone option, kind of like last year with T-Mobile, but I can't do anything with it. So I'm guessing that they're doing some sort of testing on the back end, and that's why that pops up. So it's interesting.
Well, actually, supposedly it's going to come by the fourth quarter, right? That's what the idea was. But again,
Market
who
dependent.
knows? Who knows, right? It's all up in the air because, I thought that they were saying on an earnings or on a conference, bank conference, they were like, once we're going to start shifting N77. So like LTE band 77 will be shifted to N70 or N66. Sorry, LTE band 66 will be going to N66. Right. That's in the Charlotte market already. Right. North Carolina has it already, N66. Then N2, right? The 1900 megahertz, right? The Cha-Cha Sneed has it already, N2, and it sucks by itself. But then if you aggregate it with N77, it's decent.
Yeah.
But, there's still a lot of LTE only people right now. I mean, think about what I'm about to say, okay? How many iPhone 6 to iPhone 11 do you think there are still active in the networks right now? US only.
Tens of millions.
And
easily, I'm going to tell you this right now, more than 50% of the population has one of those phones. Easily, guaranteed, never lost. Easily.
That's a bold claim.
No, it's because think about it. How many iPhones did they sell between last year and this year? And that gives you an indication right there.
Most of them are still getting supported, right? And people are using them.
Exactly.
I mean, I had a friend who held on to his 6S up until the 12 came out. So,
wow.
I mean, there's people out there. I know that they're still using them, but and I'm guessing until we see more adoption of these newer 5G phones.
What do you say to somebody who has an iPhone with a home? What do you say to them?
If it's a newer SE, you're fine. I think the 3rd gen SE is a good compromise. But if you're using a 6S or a 7 or an 8, like, what are you doing, bro? Check for everyone listening. Check in on grandma and grandpa. Check in on mom and dad. If they're using an iPhone 6 or a 7, get them a new phone. Easy Christmas gift or whatever. Because, my God, these phones are old, man.
But here's the thing.
Check for the home button.
Right, and here's the thing that I was telling the Cha-Cha Sneed is, don't you think that it's in everybody's best interest to get rid of all of these LTE only devices?
I do, because I think a lot of the issues that people have with service and with coverage and with call quality, data performance, I would argue that 60 to 70% of the people that complain, it's probably their phone or the fact that they're on some super outdated plan and they just don't know it. Like, it's in their best interest and it's in their provider's best interest to get them off of those old devices.
The carriers are doing their part, man. They run the promos every year.
They do.
I mean, heck, we've had people receive phone carriers and them deny them. I don't want this, I don't want this. Is going to change my bill, and
and that's the problem is with any of these free phones that people are receiving, they're like, oh, what, they send this to me on accident? Because a lot of people just don't pay attention. They're not involved. They don't care. When in reality, they could probably have a better experience in some aspect of their lives if they just got a newer device, But it's an education thing, educating the public.
So here's the other question, right? Is that what if there was a way that, well, let me ask you this. Is there any way that we can accelerate moving people from LTE to 5G without promos?
That's where I was going to ask you. I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think that there's
call it a 5G plan and discount it.
But you get, so that's going back to the contract days, dog. Think about
subsidize your plan if you get this.
Exactly. We'll subsidize your plan if you get your phone, but you have to be with us for 4 years. Oh my! Oh
snap!
God.
This one dedicated to EM Tech. Thanks, Lawrence. Appreciate the super chat. My girlfriend's sister still has an iPhone 8 on Magenta MAX, only upgrading this year. See, this is funny. You have the best plan, right? That could obviously You have unlimited throughput on whatever the tower can give you, right?
Right.
Magenta MAX, top tier priority. And the iPhone 8 does what? 3 carrier
Jesus.
aggregation LTE?
No. I thought it was more.
I think it's 4.
But you get my point, Moose?
Yeah.
Magenta MAX plan was literally built for the N41 kind of sewer, you know?
Especially
Notice
on
I didn't
T-Mobile.
say sewer, I said sewer.
Right.
Yeah, it's like that plan was literally made for that capacity. So getting the Magenta MAX, you would definitely want to get upgraded. I don't know, Lawrence, if you plan on trying to maybe encourage her, she can kind of enjoy the service a little bit more. You know?
But let me circle back to Moose here. So from what I read, at least on some of these articles from these financial analysts or whatever, the main thing that they were saying was that these companies oversold 5G to their customers as this life-changing, it's going to make or break your cellular experience, and people didn't buy into it. So where do we go from here to push the market forward if we can't use the technology itself? What service, what offering, what do we need? Because I can't think of anything, honestly.
So that's the debate of a lifetime, the $1 million question. What is the app or service or feature that you need desperately in order to get everybody to switch over? For example, the feature that everybody wanted in the LTE era in the beginning, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was all these gig like Uber, these gig apps, right? Like Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats was not around, but it was around. It was all the other apps that they bought out, right? Like DoorDash and all this other stuff. Amazon is a gig app technically, if you think about it, because not only can you order anything at any time, but you can also now deliver it for people and you can make money. LTE really pushed the envelope in getting people to be more mobile, right? 5G should take it to the next level, but it's right now in its current iteration does not necessarily need to have a big difference. There's no differentiation between LTE that T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon. Actually, minus Verizon because their speeds were terrible on LTE. But T-Mobile and AT&T, they had good speeds on LTE, right? When it was just LTE. Now with 5G, all it is more capacity, but there's not one thing now that is the differentiating factor.
The only thing I can think of is this long-awaited rumor that some sort of OEM is going to do AR VR. But even then, I don't think that there's enough buy-in for that. I mean, like companies like Facebook or whatever you want to call them now, Meta, they're not receiving a lot of positive feedback whatsoever on any of these AR VR products from the general public. Like the technology's not there yet, and the only company I can think of that would do it would be Apple. That's the one thing. But if that fails, I don't know what they can sell it on, to be honest.
Well, here's the other thing too. Meta, a lot of people will never buy something from Facebook because of all their track record. Okay. And by the way, their graphics suck, man. I mean, damn, it's like so bad. Again, they're spending billions and they're losing billions just to bring up this segment of the market, right? Which is this VR play. But is Meta going to be the only company? No, there's going to be multiple, and Apple is going to introduce one. I'm pretty sure the graphics that you see on the memojis, right, is going to be the graphics of how they're going to do their VR play. They're going to enhance that same stuff because they've already been doing this for years. So I don't know, man. I mean, Google does not have enough market share to make an impact. Samsung has enough market share, but they're not really focused right now. They've become more focused, but they're not as focused as Apple is. Apple is so focused, hyper-focused, that they have reduced their product lines so significantly. Just think about it like this. Name the product lines from Apple and then name the product lines of Samsung. Samsung has like 25 different products, washing machines, dryers, refrigerators, TVs, electronics of all kinds. And then Apple has a computer, an iPad, a watch, a phone, and AirPods and the accessories. Oh, yeah, and the HomePods, the speakers, right? Very consolidated. Hell. Yeah. Look at that, dude.
This is what they're trying to sell you. And you're telling me that they spent billions of dollars on R&D and development and they made this. I don't know. But where Apple has a leg up on Samsung is the mobility aspect of all their products, especially when it comes to 5G. Like, we have wireless earbuds that can give you spatial audio. Once they can bump up to like truly lossless or high res, you pair those super tiny earbuds with like a relatively comfortable VR headset or AR experience, people are going to buy that. And I think it'll sell extremely well. But who knows?
I wanted to touch on what Kazi was saying on the chat here. All these partnerships that the carriers have,
it's all at the end of the day for like some kind of service or product moves.
Right. But check this out. At the end of the day, if I'm going to be playing the next Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, in just a few days here from now, does it really matter if I'm AT&T or on Spectrum? No. I just care that I'm getting connected, right? And at the low now, obviously that's the average consumer. But if we're talking about somebody that's hyper competitive in those spaces, they want the lowest latency possible. Right now, that it has to be a wired connection and it has to be fiber for the lowest latency. So if it's only two options of wired access, you're going to go with the one that has the fiber. But if hypothetically in the future with standalone, a C-band Verizon or an N41 T-Mobile can give me the same latency or even slightly better, I'm going to go with one of them if I'm in the hyper competitive mode, right? That I want to have the lowest lag to the server and I want to have the best connection possible because I want to kill as many people in that game as possible, right? I want to be number one. I want to have every single small advantage. Not only am I going to be cookie cutter, but I'm also going to be like overtuned to make sure that my connection is super solid, that is not my issue. It's just literally myself that failed, not the connection, But then again, that's the hyper competitive people. The average consumer, they don't even care. They can do Spectrum all for the, for the love that they have for the cable because that's all they know. But I'm never going to do Cox. Jesus, man.
I was going to say, Moose, I think you just went on an entire monologue about me and my experience with home internet, dude.
Oh, so you're the same as me then? I want to be the Ultra.
I'm waiting for something better than Spectrum. The AT&T's got me on VDSL and no plans to upgrade, so FWA's not good enough yet. Hopefully it gets better. But
and you just need the latency to improve, don't you, Ian?
Yeah, it's really just the latency. And don't get me wrong, like Verizon's fixed wireless has pretty solid latency overall. T-Mobile's is garbage, but it's not good enough for me to, make the full switch from cable because cable's still a little bit better, like consistency-wise. But I'm expecting that to improve over the next couple of years. So I don't know. Cross your fingers. Do I get fiber or better latency with fixed wireless?
There you go. Hopefully you get a millimeter wave node just blasting at your apartment one day.
Yeah, Hans, if you're listening, put it on my front yard.
Hey, big shout out to Anwar. Thank you, man. Appreciate the super chat. He said that I missed the moose claps. Give it to him, dog. Undefeated, never lost.
Oh my god, dude, that needs to be a soundboard, man. But
We
hold up.
gotta get to the shirts, bro. We definitely gotta get to the merch.
Oh, you mean you want? Wait, do you have merch now? What is this?
Dude, I'm developing merch. I'm gonna do shirts. I'm gonna do hoodies. You know.
You know that there's this like in the realm of merch that you can get like clappers. You know, we should do that, dog. The moose clap. You
Hey,
know what I'm
big shout
saying,
out to
dog?
yeah. We'll look at the merch situation. We'll do some things. Big shout out to Santiago, MS, Big Rubes, Lawrence, and Onward. Thank you guys for the super chats. Appreciate you guys very much. We're gonna go ahead and close out the show, but thank all of the live chat people that were participating. Hashtag Mod Squad, hashtag 2Live Crew, hashtag Replay Crew, hashtag Ravioli Gang. Big shout out to all my Mod Squad. I had amazing guests. I had Moose come by like somewhere in the middle. EM Tech popped in somewhere at the end, and it was a great conversation, guys. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you very much. And I think that's it. You guys good for the go? Anything good for the good of the order?
No,
Good. Whatever EM Tech wants to say, man. This is good.
Yeah. You got a hashtag or something, EM Tech? What you got?
Let's do for your boy Dennis who isn't here. Hashtag Doxis 4.0.
Yeah, Dennis wasn't here tonight, man. It's unusual, you know. We got used to having him around. Thanks everybody, appreciate it. Hopefully we get all the homies back for the next one. We'll see you guys soon. Hopefully a Friday show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.